Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video of Be the Best DFS Daily Fantasy Sports Talk. Today is Tuesday, December 6, 2016. I'm going to be going over the NBA slate, focusing on Fanduel for cash games. I know I've been out the scene for, a few weeks or whatever. Just got kind of busy with work, and honestly, I really didn't think anybody really cared to see my videos. I didn't think anybody would really miss seeing me on YouTube, but I've had a few people reach out to me, ask me if I was putting out some more videos and things like that. So I realized that some people do really pay attention, to what I talk about concerning this DFS. But since the last time I've been on, nothing's changed. It's still the same. Still counting the wins as blessings. When you come up short and lose, the losses teach lessons. Still keeping it the same old motto. But I've been having some pretty decent success in NBA. Last night on FanDuel, my GPP lineup put up 334 points. On DraftKings, my GPP lineup put up 303 points. So I'm starting to get the hang of this NBA. This is my first NBA video that I'm doing solo by myself. Earlier in the season, I did a couple videos with a couple of my friends, but this is my first solo NBA video. So enough talking. I just don't like to drag on about unnecessary stuff. Let's get into this slate for tonight. Again, this is going to be primarily focused on FanDuel for your cash games, for your 50-50s, your double ups, and your head-to-head contest on FanDuel. So tonight it's a 6-game slate. It's really not that intriguing to me. One thing about this slate, it's a lot of teams that's on the second night of a back-to-back. The Wizards played last night. The Bulls played last night. The Sixers played last night. The Grizzlies played last night. I believe the Spurs played last night. And the Jazz also played last night. And with this culture in the NBA now of how soft they getting, they like to rest a lot of their players, on the second nights of back-to-backs, or, be cautious with their minutes. So that's something you have to keep in mind, when constructing, a lineup for tonight. And then another thing that I really don't like about this slate, there's some low over-under totals. I'm going to read that out real quick. According to ESPN.com, Magic at the Wizards, a 198.5, with Washington being a 3-point favorite. The Knicks at the Heat, a 202.5 total, with the line being even right now. The Bulls at the Pistons, a 201 over and under total, with the Pistons being favored by six points. Sixers at the Grizzlies, 195.5 total. Memphis favored by 8.5. Spurs at the Timberwolves, 205.5 total. Spurs being favored by 4.5. And lastly, the Suns at the Jazz, a 203 total, with Utah being favored by 7. So not really low totals. The highest total, surprisingly, right now is the Spurs and the Timberwolves at 205. It's 12:22 in the afternoon here, so a lot of things can change. Before I start talking about the plays that I like, I think it's important that you be aware of possible value that opens up with players who could be out with injury or out as rest. Some of the value some of the possible value that opens up off the top of my head, in my opinion, starting off with the Philadelphia 76ers. We know this. Jared Bayless, he's not playing tonight at point guard, so that opens up, minutes for Rodriguez. Joel Embiid is out for rest, and Jaleel Okafor, he's out with the illness. So that opens up value in the front court for Rashawn Holmes, Saric, and Ilyasova, and maybe some other guys for Philadelphia. Of course, Memphis, no Michael Conley, no James Ennis, no Chandler Parsons. Just kind of looking through here. The Spurs, no Tony Parker, so somebody going to play in his spot. The Heat, I believe it's no Justice Winslow, no Dion Waiters. Richardson, he's questionable. So those are some of the people that's going to be out tonight that could open up value, for low prices. So now I'm going to get started with my plays. I done rambled on for 5 minutes. All right, starting off, for my cash lineup tonight, the strategy is to look for safe plays. Look for plays who can reach value, which is 5x on Fanduel. You don't want to get too risky. You want the players to hit their value, so hopefully you can get to that total of 300 or more with your lineup total at the end of the night. So for me, a safe play, in my opinion, I'm going to start off at the small forward position. Jimmy Butler, I know he's high, 9,200, but I feel he's relatively safe tonight going up against the Detroit Pistons. Again, the over-under total is 201. The Pistons are 6-point favorites. But Butler, although they played last night, he's a player that's durable. You don't have to worry about, them cutting minutes with him. The last 4 games, if you look at his game log, 37, 36, 42, 40 minutes. So the minutes are secure. As far as fantasy points, the last 3 games, 45.9, 43.8, 53.6. To reach value at 9,200, a 5x value would be 46 fantasy points. And he definitely can do that. Chicago, they lost last night to Portland. When these teams lose, they're not trying to get on the losing streak. They motivated to get out to the next game. With the minute security there, I would imagine Marcus Morris or Tobias Harris will be defending him. They're legit defenders, but Butler, for cash games, definitely. I also think he's a good GPP play, so I think that's a good way to start off your cash game lineup. If I look at the others, options at small forward, I think Kawhi Leonard at 8,300. I think he's safe. The only thing is, you just never know with Greg Popovich. This guy, he will rest people at any given moment. And being that, let me make sure I get this right. Yeah, the Spurs played yesterday, second night of a back-to-back. Who knows? He might sit Leonard, Aldridge, you just never know with Greg Popovich. But if you know that Kawhi Leonard is going to get, his normal amount of minutes, he's definitely a safe play as well, for cash games tonight. Again, the spread is the Spurs are favored by 4.5, so it should be a competitive game. I get nervous about, how Greg Popovich do his rotations. But if you think Leonard's going to play the minutes, he's a safe play at small forward. Carmelo Anthony, I don't like him for cash games. I like him for GPPs because he does have the potential to score 30 real points in a game. But he just shoot. He rarely get assists. If he get that high fantasy point total, it's because he scores points and he's going to get a lot of rebounds. And I don't know how many rebounds he's going to get with Whiteside, playing against Whiteside in the Heat. Carmelo, he like to bang inside. He shoots those little close shots and he get his offensive rebounds a lot and put it back up and score and get the and one and things of that nature. But with Whiteside, them offensive rebound opportunities won't be there, in my opinion. So at 7,600, I don't really think Melo is a good cash game play. But for GPPs, because it's kind of risky, I think he's in play. Otto Porter at 6,300, definitely in play. A great value price. He only needs like 37 points. Well, I'm sorry, 31 to 32 points to reach value. He's been very, very consistent. His minutes has been consistent. Always gets at least 30 minutes a game. Playing at home, Otto Porter, I think he's a great cash game play. Wiggins, I'm not. He's at a great price of 5,900, but Andrew Wiggins, this guy, he be burning me. I cannot get him right. But for me, Andrew Wiggins is a good GPP and tournament play because you just never know. And then Kawhi, he's going to be faced up against Kawhi Leonard, who got some good defense. So for me, he's a good GPP tournament play. He's not safe, in my opinion, for cash. But, I could be wrong because he's definitely at a great value price. And looking at the rest of the small forward position, oh, I'm sorry, I kind of just went right past this guy. Gordon Hayward. I think he's a great cash game play and GPP play as well. He typically plays well at home. He's a good free throw shooter. He gets to the line, consistently. I think one game, maybe within the last week or so, he got to the free throw line 15 times. Phoenix is an up-paced tempo team, so the total is 203. Especially if George Hill is out. I think right now George Hill is a game time decision or questionable or something. But if George Hill is out, that puts more of the ball handling responsibility on Gordon Hayward, and I'll definitely lock him in for cash games if George Hill is out. But Hayward, he's good for both GPP and cash game. Gordon Hayward of the Utah Jazz at 8,100. Only needs about 40 to reach value. He's fully capable of that. So I definitely like him, tonight in both cash and GPPs. And, I don't want to make these videos long. So, that's my take on the small forward position. Let me go to the next position. Let me talk about point guard. For cash game, it's pretty much a lot for me. John Wall for 9,500. I know he's at a high price tag. He needs about 47.5 to reach value. But just look at his assist totals the last 3 games. 11. The last 4 games. 13, 15, 15, and 11. That's his assist totals. His minutes, 36, 37, 44, and 43. And then we seen this matchup against the Magic on November 25th. He had 51.4 fantasy points, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 steals, 4 turnovers. Now, I know some of you may be concerned about him playing last night, playing heavy minutes. And, they keep on putting the report out there that John Wall, they're going to monitor his minutes. They're going to monitor Bradley Beal's minutes. And they keep saying that, but he's playing like 35 plus minutes every single night. Now, I know they played last night, and, John Wall had a good game. But this is how I'm looking at it. The Wizards, they're 6-13. They don't have no time to be resting people. They need to get over 500 before they think about, resting players. The Spurs, they 17-4. So they can afford to, rest players on the second nights of back-to-backs, take it easy, let the bench players get some time. But the Wizards, they can't be doing that. They are 6-13. This is Scott Brooks' first year in DC. He need to make a good impression. If he want to rest players and things like that and keep losing, he'll find himself out the door and fired at the end of this season if they don't make the playoffs. So with all that being said, despite them playing last night and despite them saying they monitoring John Wall minutes and all this stuff, I think he's going to play his normal allotment of minutes. And I really, really like him for cash games tonight, especially on this slate. I like him for cash and GPP. He gets the points. He can get the assists. He can get a little bit of rebounds and get steals sometimes. Hopefully he don't turn the ball over a lot. But he's similar. He's a similar player to Russell Westbrook. Not as good as Westbrook, but, similar in skill set. So I definitely think he's safe for cash tonight. Other cash game plays that I think at the point guard position. With Jared Bayless being ruled out, I believe that Sergio Rodriguez for the Philadelphia 76ers could, for 4,600, could be a good value play and is safe for cash. The minutes are secure, 30 minutes the last 2 games. Last night he had 35.5 fantasy points, so he definitely getting like 7x value. They did play last night, so that's kind of concerning. But, Rodriguez, I think he's a great play for cash games at 4,600. Again, only needs like 22 or 23 to reach value. The last couple games, he's got over 30. So he's a good value play. Excuse me. For Memphis, both of their point guards, Baldwin the fourth, and Andrew Harrison, they're both priced at 4,300. There's no Michael Conley. You just have to decide which one you think has the higher upside tonight. For me personally, just looking at the double overtime game on last night, Harrison played 40 minutes and Baldwin played 21 minutes, I believe. I'm not sure who starts, but both of them could be viable cash play options. I'm not sure about GPPs, but for cash at their value, I think they're good. I don't think Tony Parker's going to play tonight, so Patty Mills, he could be a good cash play option as well at 4,300. I'm talking cash game. I'm not talking GPPs now. And, you know, that's my take on point guard. I think you have to have John Wall, you know, at 9,500. You know, you're paying up. And to find value, you know, it would probably, for me, it would be between Rodriguez, because he's going to get the minutes with Bayless being out. Choose between Baldwin or Harrison because there's no Mike Conley. And, you know, possibly Patty Mills. The other players I would think are more GPP plays in Goran Dragic and Rubio and Derrick Rose. I think they're more for GPP options in my opinion. So that's small forward and that's the point guard position. Got 3 more positions to go before I close out this video. I'm going to talk about the shooting guard position for cash games, Fanduel tonight. Now, conventional logic would say Dwayne Wade is a good cash game play. D Wade, he went off last night, 46.8 fantasy points. But last night there was no Rondo, so you know Wade, you know, had the ball in his hand a little more. And for me personally, I don't trust his old legs on the second night of a back-to-back. You know, they've been resting him on the second nights of back-to-backs, but I guess because they lost last night, I guess he want to play. But at 7,000, he could be a good cash game play. Conventionally, I mean, it seems logical that he would be a good cash game play when you look at the numbers and things like that and the price and just his slate. But for me, I don't want no part of him for cash games. I just don't trust him on the second nights of back-to-backs. There's a reason he's been resting. Now, I know he's playing tonight, but you know, hopefully Rondo, well, if Rondo plays, he won't have the ball as much. So, you know, I don't like him tonight. I'm going to look at his game log real quick. The last time he played the second night of a back-to-back this season, I don't even know if he has, it was on November 10th. So, on November 9th, he played here in Atlanta versus the Hawks, had 40.1 fantasy points. Then they played the 10th at Miami the very next night. He had 26.4 fantasy points. So maybe I'm looking into it too much, but second night of the back-to-back, I'm not messing with Wade for cash games. You know, GPP, you know, a lot of things could possibly work. But for me, I'm fading him in cash games. Now, I do like Bradley Beal. Again, Beal, from what I see, he plays better at home. When they played Orlando on the 25th, he only had 27.4 fantasy points. They said they was going to be monitoring his minutes, but again, Washington is a 6-13 team, a losing team. They don't need to be talking about monitoring nobody minutes or resting anybody if they have playoff aspirations. So he's the highest priced one, but at 7,100, I do like Bradley Beal as a good cash game play at the shooting guard position. I also like Devin Booker at 5,900. You know, Phoenix plays at an up pace. One thing about Devin Booker, his minutes are secure. You know, whenever he plays, you can pretty much guarantee he's going to get at least 30 minutes of playing time. Utah played last night, and Booker, he's one of them players who like to shoot the ball a lot. The last game, let me see. Let me go to this. The last game they played against Golden State on December 3rd, he shot the ball 17 times. So at 5,900, I do like Booker as a cash game play tonight at the shooting guard position. Zach LaVine, I like him more for GPPs because he's kind of inconsistent. And at 6,000, you know, Kawhi Leonard could end up checking him. You never know. Leonard may mix it up and defend Wiggins at certain points in the game. And then he may defend Zach LaVine at certain points in the game. So I think it's kind of risky with that uncertainty. So I don't think it's a good cash game play because it's not safe. But for GPPs, I do like Zach LaVine. Caldwell Pope, I think he's a good cash game play. Good price of 5,700. It just seems like every night I pick him, he doesn't do good. The last time I picked him was on November 26th against OKC, and he scored 13.4 fantasy points. That's when I picked him. But since me picking him on that particular night, his game logs are 39.9 fantasy points, 40 fantasy points, 34.6 fantasy points, and 24.8 fantasy points. So with Chicago, playing last night, Detroit being at home, I think KCP is a great cash game play. I don't think I would be playing him because I just don't have really good luck when I roster this guy. Rodney Hood, good cash game play, decent price of 5,500. Again, Phoenix, they're going to push the tempo, and they're at home. If George Hill is out, this is something that y'all need to really pay attention to. If it's announced that he's out, Rodney Hood and Gordon Hayward are great cash game plays if Hill is out, because that just increases their usage. Still looking at shooting guard. One more person I wanted to mention is Troy Daniels of the Memphis Grizzlies for 4,200. Great price, and just his last two games, 43 and 31 fantasy points. Now, granted, last night was a double overtime game, so he got a little more extra minutes to pad his stats up. But he did score 29 real points in the NBA game. So, for cash, a lot of people might, run after that value right there. I do like Troy Daniels as a good value play for cash games. He's interesting for GPPs, I would say. I'm not really sure about GPPs, but for cash games, I think Troy Daniels is safe. He only needs like 21 points to reach that 5x value. All right, I think that's all I got to say about the shooting guard position. 3 down, 2 more positions to go. Now, the power forward position. My top cash game play. I'd start with Ibaka. I like Serge Ibaka tonight at 6,500. I really like him. I wish his price was a little lower, but at 6,500, he needs 32.5 fantasy points to reach value. And when we saw this matchup between the Wizards and the Magic on November 25th, Serge had 39.6 fantasy points. And if you just kind of look at, his last game, man, buddy went off 48.4 fantasy points. So he's not too expensive. He should get the minutes. The Magic, they didn't play last night, so he should have some fresh legs. They've been off for a day. So, Washington can, push the tempo up at times. So I definitely like Serge Ibaka as a safe cash game play. Now, I guess other play that I like for cash games, some of y'all may disagree with it, but I do think it's a safe play. Rashawn Holmes of the Philadelphia 76ers, and mainly because he's minimum price, 3,500. There's going to be no Okafor, no Embiid, no Covington, and no Bayless. So they probably only got like 9 to 10 players, in active today. And if you look at Rashawn Holmes' game log, when he get the minutes, he produces. December 5th, 18 minutes, which was yesterday, 25 fantasy points. November 28th, 23 minutes, 25.3 fantasy points. November 25th, 21 minutes, 25 fantasy points. Now, you just look at his game log. Don't just listen to me. Get your phone, get on your computer, look at Rashawn Holmes' game log. When he gets the minutes, he produces. I guess he's a point per minute type of guy. So I'm under the thinking that he's going to get minutes tonight with all these people being out. And with all these people being out, he should be able to hit value. At 3,500, you only need 17.5 fantasy points to reach that 5x value. So Rashawn Holmes, he's definitely, right now, a lot for me in cash games. Now, who else I want to talk about? I want to talk about Porzingis at 7,600. I think he's more in play for GPPs. But for cash, I'm not playing him. Porzingis is a great player and everything, but just the way I'm constructing my lineup, I don't want to spend my money there. And, it's on the road. I don't think I don't know. I'm just not sure about Porzingis, pretty much. I know Whiteside can't check him, but, James Johnson, I think he's a good defender at power forward. I'm trying to think who else on the Heat played power forward. Josh McRoberts. But, with the Knicks, you just never know when Carmelo Anthony going to decide that he want to take 25 to 30 shots a game. And whenever Carmelo decides he want to take 25 to 30 shots in a game, it decreases the value for Kristaps Porzingis. And, with that uncertainty, I feel it as a risky play. So, in my opinion, Porzingis could be a good GPP and tournament play, but for cash games where I'm trying to be a little more safe, at 7,600, I'm just going to stay away from him. So, for me, I like Ibaka and Richaun Holmes. I'm going to talk about a couple other players that I think are good cash game plays. Marcus Morris at 4,700, below 5K. He's a good cash game play. He had a good game last night. Along the same lines of Philadelphia, Saric and Ilyasova, they're both good cash game plays as well. I just like Holmes better because he's minimum price, and it helps me with my lineup construction. But Saric and Ilyasova, they're both good cash game options as well. And depending on who Greg Popovich decides to sit, some Spurs players could open up as good value plays, as in David Lee or whoever else they got on their bench. You just never know with Greg Popovich. So, that's pretty much my take on the power forward position. And I'm going to close this out with the center position. At center, my top cash game play option, I would say Rudy Gobert, at 6,900, because of that price, the uptick in pace playing the Phoenix Suns. And, last night he had 46.9 fantasy points. Now, I'm not sure if Tyson Chandler is playing right now, but Tyson Chandler is a good rebounder and a good defender, so that could cause some concern. But my second favorite cash game play would be Vucevic at 7,400. I don't know if he's starting or if he's on the bench right now. But I'm just looking at his last 3 games, 31.6, 35.7, and 36.2 fantasy points. In the matchup versus Washington on November 25th, 48.4 fantasy points. You know what I'm saying? So I guess he might be coming off the bench. I'm not sure. I know the coach down there had switched the lineup up and everything. And if he is coming off the bench, that means he's in with the second unit and he's getting more shots. He's not in there with Evan Fournier. So he's definitely the focal point of the offense. So I think Vucevic is a good GPP play as well as cash game play. Now, I know y'all want to hear me talk about Marc Gasol. I think he's a good cash game play. The only thing is he played 46 minutes last night. Now, Philadelphia have no Embiid, no Okafor, so they're thin on the front line. So everything says that Gasol is a good cash game play. And I'm not disputing that. My only thing is just the amount of minutes that he played last night, 46. And he's not a young guy, so that causes concern for me. But if you don't really put much stock into him playing 46 minutes in a double overtime game on last night with Embiid and Okafor out, Gasol at 7,500, great cash game play in my opinion. Great cash game play. And the top 3 price centers, I wouldn't really consider them good cash game plays. But Towns, Whiteside, and Drummond, I think they're more suited for GPPs because you can find value in other places at center and go down a little lower. So at those, well, mainly Whiteside and Towns being over 9,000, I think they're more suited for GPPs instead of cash. But, both of those guys got the upside, but, you're going to spend a lot for them. But, yeah, I like Towns in GPP tonight. But, again, cash games, Gobert, Vucevic, and Gasol. I think those three are definitely in play. And the rest of the centers, I'm not even really considering. So if you just click on that center's position, I'm just considering the top six as in far as salary, for cash game and GPPs, with Vucevic and Gobert being my two favorite. And the video done got to 30 minutes, but that's about it for my FanDuel cash game lineup strategy for tonight. It's been a while since I've been on, but as always, I want to thank everyone who's taking the time out to view this video. Thank you to everyone who subscribed to the YouTube channel and following all on social media. Just type in that hashtag and search it. Hashtag be the best DFS. And you'll find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. I work my full-time job and everything, so it's kind of hard to just stay on top of all the social media with this brand that I'm trying to build. But definitely make sure you search the hashtag be the best DFS, and join me on everything. The Facebook group be popping. I gave away some Hawks tickets, the Hawks and Detroit Pistons tickets on Friday. A lot of people share their different lineups and ideas and things like that. So the Facebook group is very, very active. I recommend y'all to join it. I'm going to try to get better with my Twitter posts and try to do better on Instagram. But I'm going to try to get back into this, and hopefully y'all found this video helpful and y'all can win some money tonight. If you want to see my just official cash game lineup for tonight on FanDuel, make sure you follow the Instagram page at BeTheBestDFS or search hashtag BeTheBestDFS. I'm going to post it tonight before lock around that 6 o'clock hour, probably between 6:30 and 7. I'm going to post my cash game lineup for everybody to see, so y'all can use it if y'all feel confident in it, and it can help y'all, know what I'm saying, win some money. But yeah, I'm going to try to get back in the flow of doing these videos again. Definitely, if you like it, subscribe, hit the like button, leave comments, and just let me know what I need to do to get this better and bring this information to y'all as we all try to, be successful in this daily fantasy industry. But I'm gonna leave it at that, and close this video out. And as always, try to be the best tonight. All right, I'm out.